Hi, welcome to the Improved Garage YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button. So today, we're going to be installing LED headlights in the Mini Cooper, which currently has halogen headlights. So this is an F56 2015 Mini Cooper. It has the regular halogen headlights, no projectors, no LEDs, and we're going to be installing a set of Sylvania 9003 H4 LEDs. These are power sports or fog use only. They're not supposed to be used on the road, obviously because you don't have the appropriate projector housing to point the beam in an appropriate way. These came from AutoZone, they're $100. The other thing that you will need for this is either a set of load resistors, which I do not have, or you will need a way to code the car to use LED headlights, which I do have. I'm going to be using Bimmerlink and an OBD plug CX, which you can check my other video and you see that product as well and how you can code in options in a Mini Cooper. So to start off, let me show you what the lights look like without LEDs, the regular headlights. We're going to light up this corner back there where all the junk is. Alright, so those are my factory high beams. That is what they look like. And we're going to be replacing the bulb that contains both low and high beams. Release the driver floor. Hood opens as so. And we can see our headlight housing is right here. Now I need to get to the back side of the headlight housing. There is a cover on the back. It looks like this. It turns and it releases. It comes off. If you look inside the headlight housing, you will see that there is a metal clip as well as a wire harness. The wire harness is a black plug. It pulls directly off the back, and that is what it looks like when it's pulled. There is no button to press or anything that locks in place. It just goes on there. And then the metal rail that holds the bulb in has a clip at the top. And if you push that with your finger and move it to the passenger side of the vehicle, you can fold it down. And then you can remove the bulb. This is what the factory bulb looks like. Okay? So we've got our bulb removed from our housing. Next, let's open up our box. Now inside our box, we have bulbs that are the same mounting type with the 3 pins, just like our factory bulb has, but they are LED. And there is a little ballast here, along with a 3-pin connector, which matches the back of the bulb. So these should be pretty easy to install. You're going to take the bulb this way, so that the flat part is on the bottom, and you're going to insert that into the socket. Actually, I take that back. We're going to do this a little differently. So what we need to do, because of the metal retainer and the way they go into the Mini, we're going to turn this bulb inside this metal retainer, and we're going to remove this metal retainer from the bulb. We're going to set the bulb off to the side for now. And we're going to take this metal retainer, and that is what we're going to install in the car. All right, so we're going to take this flat spot down, and it is going to go into the socket the same way the bulb came out. So it pushes into place, and then we're going to lock the retainer the same way that we took it off. So our retainer is locked into place. Now this bulb is going to go in like this. These pins are offset, so we first need to line those up with the notches that are inside the housing. And then we're going to turn it once we pushed it into the housing, just slightly, so that it's vertical and lines up with the mount. inside the light, it should look like that, where it is vertical. Now we are going to take this 3-pin harness and we're going to plug it in here. And we're going to put this into the housing. We can then take our cap and we can attach it on the back. Okay, so we have the lights installed. Take a look at them with me here. So there are the lights. You can see the camera adjusting there, and you know, they're obviously brighter and look better than the factory halogens did. Now, one thing to note is that most modern cars, they have sensors in them to determine if a bulb is burned out. And that sensor looks at shorts and power consumption to determine whether or not a load is what it expects it to be. And electrically, an LED is way more efficient than your normal halogen bulb, and it looks different to a computer. So your computer in your car, because it was set up with halogen bulbs, might think that you put because you put LED bulbs in, might think that your halogen bulbs are burned out. It may cause your lights to flicker. It may also cause your lights, if you're doing like turn signals, to blink more rapidly. It may cause you to have what's known as a bulb out indicator on your dash. So all of those things are definite possibilities. Now, most manufacturers build load resistors that are designed to handle this for you. In the Mini is actually available with LED bulbs. So I can program LED bulbs into my car so that it knows to expect them. So that's what we're going to do next. I want to show you here that when I start the car, left high beam malfunction, right high beam malfunction, both come up. Now, the lights are on. They are physically working. So, you know, the car is not, it's not shutting them off, but I definitely have this indicator in the dash. So, let's deal with that together. Now, I have an OBD-Link CX, and I have a software that is called Bimmerlink. Or, sorry, Bimmercode. There's two different softwares, Bimmercode and Bimmerlink. So, I am going to turn my car on. I am going to connect to Bimmercode. I've got my OBD plug plugged into the OBD connector, identifying control units. So we'll let this run for a second and I'll come back when it's at 100%. It takes about a minute. Okay, so a minute has gone by and we now have the control unit screen up. So these are the control units my car has. So we are going to go to body domain controller, which is the one that does auto stop start, windows, doors, driving mode, lighting, and mirrors. Now it's going to check coding data, it's going to read the module. This takes another minute. Alright, so the body domain controller has loaded. It took about 2 minutes to do so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down to where we get to lighting. LED conversion. So we have LED conversion low beam and LED conversion high beam. And I've already done the LED conversion side markers when I changed out my side markers for the LED ones. So we're going to choose active. And then we're going to go back here to the high beam and choose active. Remember, the bulbs that I installed are both low and high beam. So back. So now we have active low beam, active high beam, active side markers, and everything else is as it was from the factory. So next, we're going to click Code, Start Coding, Preparing Coding, Writing coding data, Finishing coding, Restarting ECU. See my ECU restart, ignition switched on, fans and everything kick on. Okay, so now The coating of the control unit completed successfully. Okay, so let's get out of this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut off my car, and I'm going to turn my car back on. Ignition switched on. There's my high beams, there's my low beams, there's my service data like always. I just started the car, and high beams and low beams work. You can see them on the back wall through the camera, and I have no errors about my bulbs. You can start the car. It is complaining about the hood being open, so let me go shut my hood. And now we can see we have no errors. We can do our high beam, low beam flashes, and I'm not getting any complaining from the car about the LED bulbs. So, congratulations, you just installed LEDs in your Mini Cooper. If you do not have the Bimmerlink, I would say purchase it, but you can buy load resistors for the car as well. They're about 30 bucks, and they plug in line into the cord in between the car and the light bulb, and they just pretend to be a halogen bulb instead of being a LED bulb, and they just have a higher load on the car. So that's really it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.